the Kiki Shepherd with about a in the leopard print. Teddy, Pendergrass, cooler than Freddie Jackson, sipping a milkshake in a snowstorm.
Well, we have an interconference affair lined up for you today as the Brooklyn Nets come in for this one. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Doris Burke. And roaming the sideline for tonight's game, our Allie LaForce. You know, these two teams rack up the assists. Greg, they pride themselves on playing unselfish basketball.
Yeah, both sides preach player and ball movement, getting everyone involved. It makes both teams that much more difficult to defend.
Here's Demon. Count that one. And here is Curry. Over to the wing. Here's Santos. It's hauled in by Claxton. And just about a minute into the first quarter. Pass to Demon. Hands it from downtown. Demon's got 5.
And they don't want to get in a habit of giving him open looks from 3. First quarter still, but not who you want to leave open.
Now here's Curry. And the Warriors, another 3.
And you got the feeling that was coming. Curry loves coming back with a 3 of his own.
So, GA, when you think about Steph Curry's legacy, he changed the way the NBA game is played.
Man, it is hard to find a player who's had the impact of a Steph Curry, making us rethink what is possible. Curry's endless range has really inspired a generation.
Team foul. Now into the line of the Nets.
Outside Curry. A floater. Here's Santos. And out of bounds as Brooklyn gains possession. Here's Demon. Draymond Green with the rebound. Pass to Curry. Shoots the 3. The rebound by Demon. A 3 ball. His second miss, now 2 of 4 on the game. And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played. Here's Curry. They kick it out to Green. Good, and Curry gets the assist.
Wow, we're accustomed to seeing Draymond Green make the pass, but how about that catch-and-shoot delivery? Nice.
Here's Demon. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. And it goes on Draymond Green. The Nets shooting their first shots from the stripe in this game.
Yeah, and 79% from the line as a team a season ago. Pretty reliable in that regard.
We're about 3 minutes into this first quarter.
2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes.
Outside Curry. Launches it. Traps in the tray. Curry's got 6.
Honestly, guys, Curry is the best three-point shooter I've ever seen.
And you look at the addition of Jimmy Butler. G.A., why has he been such a fit for the Warriors?
He really is an unselfish, high IQ superstar, and that's what the Warriors are all about. And his isolation, interior scoring has given them another look offensively.
Here's Curry, following the three-pointer by Brooklyn. Claxton with the steal. Outside Williams. Launches a 3. And the Nets, another 3.
Boy, on the perimeter, you have to stay connected to this guy. He's such a good shooter.
And so Steve Kerr decides to call a timeout. Coach is going to take a few minutes to regroup and go over the strategy. Warriors trailed by 5. Pass to Melton. Taken away by Williams. And now here comes Williams leading the break. And it's Demon missing. Now Podziemski. scoreless thus far. Here's Porzingis. It's hauled in by Claxton. Nets leading by 5. He takes it in. Timmons, that's good.
And that's what the pump fake's there for. Get your man off his feet and drive right around him.
To the middle. Porzingis high post. To end the run. The dunk and the foul. A powerhouse move, and he's got a chance for one more at the line. It's on Nick Claxton, and he'll be shooting his first free throw of the game here.
And converted more than 4 out of every 5 free throw attempts last year, so just solid at the line.
Boy, if there's one big man who exemplifies the evolution of size in the NBA, it's Tape B. Kristaps Porzingis can stretch the floor. He can get out and run in transition. It's a combination you almost have to have.
And so it's the Brooklyn Nets with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. They're feeling very confident.
20.
And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And let's take a moment, guys, to get your take on the scoring so far for the Nets.
Well, they haven't wasted any time getting into a groove from deep, putting up and hitting a healthy amount of three-pointers thus far.
Pass to Claxton. Back to Porter. Lets the 3 fly. Drains the three-pointer. Porter's got the lead up to 9 now for the Nets.
And such a sharp shooter from outside the arc. Porter just superb at knowing when to fire from deep.
Now here's Porzingis. The kick outside to Butler. 4 on the shot clock. Golden State needs to get off a shot. Horford, no luck. And here's Williams now. He'll bring it up for the Brooklyn Nets. They lead by their biggest margin of the game, 9. Pass to Wolf. Back to Porter. Ball's knocked loose. And stolen by Horford. A deep 3 from Butler. Rebound, Brooklyn. In his 16th season in the NBA, Doris, Al Horford got his first title with the Celtics.
That 2024 championship was so special for Al. Remember, he had played almost 200 playoff games. And remember, for the vast majority of that run, Al Horford was the starting 5 for the Boston Celtics. Incredible.
Powell with the bounce pass. And Anthony Melton picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Personal foul. First team foul.
Here's Minot. Drives to the hoop. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty.
Yeah, if you're playing that power forward position, you overcome a lack of size with great hops.
For Brooklyn, they have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2. And one way players look to expand their game, adding counter moves to keep defenders off balance. Greg, what was something you added that really gave defenders pause?
You know, the snapback pull-up, using your speed to kind of get the defender going downhill. And then you slam on the brakes and just create that separation to then go into attack mode.
It's time to send it over now to our reporter, Allie Laporte.
Thanks a lot. Jimmy Butler is the complete package. Coach Steve Kerr said he's an amazing player. The skill, the strength, the ability to get to the line, his passing connects the game. And in the end, it goes beyond that. Just his presence out there. He's a lion. He's a force. Back to you.
One of the best for sure. All right, Allie, thank you for the report. Pass to Williams. Back to Powell. Here's Claxton. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
And really, it's been a major aspect of their offense in the early stages here. Their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range.
And so Steve Kerr decides to call a timeout. He's going to take this chance to talk to his guy. Here's Curry. He's got 8. And going back a bit, the Nets regaining a lot of their draft picks, Doris, from the Rockets. One of the more interesting trades that we've seen.
Well, they gave away a ton of those picks to acquire James Harden when they believed they had a championship window. And now in recovering them, Brooklyn able to benefit from the draft to try to position themselves for that all-important rebuild.
Screen by Claxton. And that one's good by Porter.
And out of the pick and roll, Porter showing great coordination, fluidity, and versatility.
Curry on the drive. And the call on the shot sends him to the line. You know, Greg, you could argue the Nets kind of overachieved last season under first-year head coach Jordi Fernandez.
Yeah, only the 6th worst record last season. The defense was halfway decent, but they understand some patience is required in a rebuild.
Well, this is what we've come to expect from him, right? Excellence at the foul line.
They get it back. Here's Demon. 14 points for him. Just 4 to shoot. Over Green. Out to the right wing. Three-pointer. Demon, that's good. Demon's got 17.
You know, he's going to continue to bury those if that's how they're going to DM up.
Pass to Moody. And they come right back with their own three-pointer. He's got 6.
And an eye for an eye. Both teams working to stretch the floor.
Well, that three-point shot just gives you so much room to operate on the offensive end. Sometimes your only option is to go to the floater, and that is money.
Here's Curry. The focus from Curry gets it to fall inside.
Well, we know Steph Curry has a ton of fun on the court because he can score from virtually anywhere. But that floater is a must-have tool in the toolbox.
He's found his rhythm from deep, and you can see the confidence.
And I think the defender knows once he gets cooking, look out. The bucket looks awfully big to him right now.
And so it's the Brooklyn Nets holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. They've played the better game so far, but their work is far from over. Back to the action in just a minute. And if you're just joining us in this one, first half is in the books. 1 half to go. Here's Demon. Jacks up a 3. Tries again. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Green deciding where to go with it. Curry on the wing. And there's the call on Curry. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, way to get there first and be willing to absorb the contact.
Brooklyn leading by 8. Pass to Demon. Nice move. Yes, that goes in. Demon's got the first basket of the third quarter for the Nets. And here is Moody. The 3. It's hauled in by Michael Porter. And here are the Nets. They haven't given up any points here in the second half. To the wing on the left. Here's Wolf. Hits the difficult fadeaway jumper. And now a 12-point Brooklyn lead. Outside Curry. Can't get it to fall. And here's Brooklyn. The 12-point lead, their biggest of the game. Here's Demon. And he banks in the layup. Demon's got 4 this quarter.
When you allow good scorers to get uncontested shots at the rim, no wonder you're losing.
To me, this has simply stated been a complete lack of defensive attention and focus all night long.
2 minutes into the second half of play now. In GA, we know Coach Steve Kerr has been up front. In order to win, the Warriors need to take and make a lot of threes.
Well, it's the superpower of their best player, and the arrival of Jimmy Butler has provided some balance, but threes are still their best bet.
And the ball out of play. The Warriors will inbound.
Well, one guy's thinking zig, the other zag, and it's nothing good resulting.
Warriors trailed by 12. Fires from way outside. And another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
And very difficult to keep the ball out of Stephen Curry's hands because of all his movement. He can shoot from anywhere, and right now the defense has no answer.
Demon, that's good.
And that's right where they wanted to go with the ball in rhythm.
Outside Curry. Good, and Butler gets the assist. Curry's got 22 points.
Making a huge difference from deep tonight. That was a big-time shot.
That's where the bulk of his offense has come from, and they're going to need a few more of them before this one's over.
And that one's good by Porter.
And he's just adept at scoring in so many ways. It's clear Porter very comfortable operating inside.
And so it looks like the Warriors will retain possession here. 1:39 left in the third quarter. Curry can't get it to go.
Well, despite the miss, obviously the shot this offense looking to generate is exactly that.
Porter looking it over. 5 to shoot. Here's the three. Drains it from beyond the arc. Porter's